Metropolitan Shreveport Zoning Board of Appeals. For public hearing agenda items, if you wish to make public comments on an application, we have comment slips at the speaker stand next to the podium. For future notification purposes, it is very important that you fill out a slip and drop it in the box when you come forward to speak. Please state your full name, mailing address, and zip code before addressing the board. We will call each case on the agenda in order and hear first from the applicant and then those speaking in favor. 10 minutes are allotted for the principal spokesperson and 3 minutes for each additional speaker. We will then hear from those wishing to speak against an application. Again, 10 minutes are allotted for the principal spokesperson and 3 minutes for each additional speaker. One representative of the application may then speak in rebuttal if desired. After hearing comments on each case, the board will then immediately deliberate and vote on that case before moving on to the next case on our agenda. Please note that when the board is deliberating, members of the public are not permitted to comment. Any member of the public may request a copy of the board's decisions on a particular case by contacting our office at 318-673-6480 after 1 p.m. tomorrow, or by accessing our website at shreveportcatompc.com. All of the ZBA decisions are subject to appeal to either the City Council or the Parish Commission, depending on the location of the property in question. Please note that it is your responsibility to contact the appropriate governing body about their procedures as related to the matter you are concerned with. Copies of this document and phone numbers to contact the governing bodies are available on the table next to the podium and in the entryway to this room. As a courtesy, please remember to turn off cell phones while the ZBA is in session. The Zoning Board of Appeals values your testimony and appreciates your compliance with these guidelines. What do we hear about for the approval of minutes for October 12th, 2016?
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Holland, second by Mr. Cooper. Please vote. In a moment. Motion carries unanimously. All right, first case on today's agenda is case number BAP 35-16, 3025 Lakeview Road. Yes, please come to the podium.
Carrie Farr.
All right, I need your full address, including zip code.
3025 Lakeview Road, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71107.
All right, and then just give us an overview of what you here to request today.
Okay, what I'm requesting is I currently have a mobile home on my property, but my family's growing. I'm getting married next weekend, and so this is just one of the first of our many new adventures. So we're wanting to put a larger home on the property. This one will be a modular home, and so it'll be site built, and it'll just have bigger bedrooms and just a better overall house plan for our future growing family.
All right, and then what will happen with the mobile home?
I'm actually trading it in to the company so that will be removed before the new one is brought onto the property.
All right. Any questions from the board for Ms. Farr? Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Anyone else wish to speak for case BAP 35-16? Anyone wish to speak against BAP 35-16? What do we hear?
Motion approved.
With stip.
Yep.
Second. Motion by Mr. Holland, second by Ms. Osborne to approve with stip. The stipulation being that the application is subject to platting of the tract of land into a legal lot of record prior to the issuance of any permits. You understand that? All right. Please vote. Motion carries unanimously. Case BAP 36-16, 6486 Smith Lane. Elizabeth Ann Carter.
My name's Tom Roche, 123 Sermon Road, Benton, Louisiana. I'm the builder for Miss Carter and the representative. The plans are to build a new house located at this address. Prior to the house being completed, the mobile home that's located there will be removed from the property. The legal lot of record has already been applied for, and all that's already been done.
Okay. All right, any questions, Mr. Roche? All right, thank you very much. Anyone else wish to speak for case BAP 36-16? Anyone wish to speak against BAP 36-16? What do we hear?
Motion approved with subject to the plating of the land. Legal lot.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Holland, second by Mr. Cooper, to approve with stipulation of platting of the tract of land on the legal lot of record prior to the issuance of any permits. Please vote. Motion carries unanimously. Case BAC 85-16, 2901 Milam Avenue.
Good afternoon. My name is Tiffany Brunson, and I'm pretty sure that most of you probably remember me from my last hearing, which was a couple of years ago.
Ms. Brunson, I need your full address, please.
2901 Milam Street, Suite 100,
Your zip code?
71103.
Thank you. Please continue.
Yes, I'm here today because I was allowed an 18-month exception the last time I was here. I was not able to open my building within that 18-month time frame due to some unforeseen contracting issues and expenses that I just could not have imagined. I'm here today, though, because I was allowed some provisions so that I could open and use a unified code as part of the reason why I don't really need the parking variance, and to resubmit my claim to get a permanent beer and wine license. I have a temporary one now, and I'm operating under that. Have had no concerns, no issues, have been partnering with Corporal Cisco, and I think everything is going as planned. So today I'm just here to continue that and actually make that permit, beer and wine permit, permanent.
All right. Thank you very much. Any questions from the board for Ms. Brunson?
Excuse me, did I hear you say you had no incidences
No, sir, no incidences at all,
involving police or?
none. In fact, I have a gentleman there who's security, and in fact, we close at 8, so more often than not, we're closed before any type of issues happen at all, so.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay. I have some people who are here to speak on my behalf.
All right.
But one of which is about 2 blocks away, Mr. Ellis, who is the president of the Neighborhood Association. But I do have a couple other people who can speak while we wait for him.
All right, thank you.
Ms. Marcia Smith, who is an employee of mine.
All right.
Good afternoon. My name is Marcia Smith. I'm a 30-year-old divorced mother of 3 children.
Ms. Smith?
One who,
Sorry to have to interrupt you. I need your full mailing address
Okay.
before you begin.
Yes, sir. My name is Marcia Smith. My full mailing address is 2608 Huntington Avenue, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71103.
Thank you very much.
I'm 30 years old. I'm a divorced mother of 3 children. I am a business and human service major at Southern University at Shreveport. I also work part-time at Honey's Neighborhood Market, owned by Miss Tiffany Brunson. I have had the opportunity to meet lots of people. Some people look at the needy as projects, while Miss Brunson looks at them as human beings and helps them in any way she can. I've seen her give change to customers who didn't have enough give thanks to children who were hungry. The neighborhood appreciates us being there. We have thought about, it's very risky being in the area, but we also know that if we help these people, that they will appreciate us. We are still willing to take the risk if it involves assisting those in need who don't have transportation, live on a fixed income, and the innocent children who have unfit parents and just need a close, safe place to come and get food or whatever they can get to eat. She has also helped me and my children tremendously by giving me this part-time job at Honey's. She works with my school schedule, my children's schedule. Also, she works with my daytime job schedule. I've never met such a humble, spirited person and with a giving heart as Miss Brunson. And if I had a dream job with the dream boss, it would be Honey's, and Miss Tiffany Brunson would be the owner. She runs an airtight, safe establishment. She does not allow any activity that shouldn't be going on at her place of business. These are just some of the very important reasons why this establishment should be granted whatever they request.
Thank you, Ms. Smith.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak for case BAC 85-16?
I just got through running. My name is Don Ellis. I'm president of the Lakeside Area Neighborhood Association. My address is 2846 Dunlap Street, Shreveport, 71103. And I come, as I did before, to speak with Ms. Brunson and her business. And I don't see no reason why she shouldn't be granted what she needs to be a physical business in the community. As I spoke before, she is a worthy person. She invested back in the community, and I think that we should be proud of her establishment. I was raised up in the Lakeside area, and I know for years the type of business that's been going on down there, and this is a legitimate business. If these superfood stores can have beer and wine in the stores, I see no reason why Ms. Brunson shouldn't be allowed to have it down on Mallow Street.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Anyone else wish to speak for case BAC 85-16?
Good afternoon. My name is Pamela Davis. I grew up in the neighborhood. I currently own property in the neighborhood. I'm here to speak on behalf of Mrs. Bronson.
Sorry, I need your full mailing address.
8851 Burnett Drive, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71118.
Thank you. Please continue.
I'm here to speak on behalf of Mrs. Bronson. I'm not understanding why they're having so many problems at that location. She's opened the business back up in the store. It's very convenient. The laundromat is awesome. I just don't understand why the city is giving her so many issues. The property value should go up because of the store. It's just nice to go to the neighborhood and be able to walk to a store, not have to drive a distance everywhere we go.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Davis. Anyone else wish to speak for case BAC 85-16?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to speak on the 85-16 special exception use and variance on
Sir?
Milam Street.
Sir, I need your full name and mailing address, please.
What's that again?
I need your full name and mailing address before you continue.
The full name is Dr. James Stokes Holt III.
And your address, please?
Address 306 Holcomb Drive. I'm a member of a community of about 200 people who are very close by this particular site. Our little community was opened up around about 1963, and we have homes in that area that sell for approximately $70,000 to $250,000 or more. And we are real concerned about the application that has been put place before you. We applaud the investors who have built a first-class washateria in that area. It was greatly needed and greatly appreciated. I myself am a client of that washateria. However, the sale of liquor, beer, wine is a different thing altogether. It is a magnet that attracts people from all over that zip code. People who are single men, who are unemployed, who congregate around such places and spend the whole day playing cards and checkers, and it creates a ugly atmosphere. We have seen numerous other cases like this where these types of things take place. I myself served on the Shreveport Zoning Board for 18 years, and I noticed that whenever a liquor license was approved, it caused a negative effect in the community. And we would not like to have such a negative effect in our community. We would appreciate anything you can do to help us enhance the community and increase the quality of life, but this would not be to our benefit. It would create all kinds of problems. It makes the elderly people who live in that area very uncomfortable to walk down the street, to walk outside and see what's happening on the street. So we are totally against this, and we would appreciate your help in helping us to make this part of Shreveport a better place instead of letting it deteriorate and become a jungle and a desert in many places because of the bad environments that exist. We thank you, sir. Do you have any questions for me?
Any questions from the board?
Dr. Holt,
We thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir? Dr. Holt?
no, it won't be audible.
All right. It's okay. It's all right.
Speak a little louder. I am wearing a hearing aid. Costs $4,000, but it's still not up to snuff. It's not doing what it's supposed to do.
I think
So
Mr.
what
Cooper-
is your question,
Mr.
sir?
Cooper had a question. Mr. Cooper had a question.
How often was it that you saw congregations of young men at the store?
I did not get your question.
Could you,
Would you speak a little louder?
how often do you see young men congregating at the,
I don't see anybody congregating now, but we recently had a store in the neighborhood that had something selling in the neighborhood, and I noticed that entire block around that store, men came from everywhere, and you'd have houses where you would have 5 or 6 men living in a house with no woman. You'd have people sitting out in the yards with a card table, playing cards all day. It was just a ridiculous situation. And if you live in Shreveport, sir, I've been here 89 years, but if you live in this city, you've seen such displays like this yourself. And the only thing we're interested in doing is making our community better, not worse. Did that help?
that helped, but you.
Thank
brought-
you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak against BAC 85-16?
Yes, my name is Roderick Holt, H-O-L-T. My mailing address is 136 Prospect. I know that's on the other side of town away, but I represent 2929 Milam Street because I am the owner of that piece of property. It's a piece of real estate investment property. And to expand on what my father was saying on people sitting outside and congregating, he was not actually speaking in terms of the address that the Finback Group has brought forth. They have done an excellent job down there. The problem has been in the past on Alabama and Poland. There was a store there that sold liquor and beer, and that's what he observed, because I observed it on a daily and weekly basis. There was a house across the street from it that used to belong to Dr. Briere. It's a total shambles because of that store. I have concern because the beer and liquor license, if it's granted, that store would be in rot throwing distance of the piece of property I own. And it would affect the neighborhood, the environment. Right now, it's a great place. They've done a wonderful job. But that will probably not remain constant if the liquor license is granted as we go forward.
So you understand they've already got it? This is just a renewal.
It's a renewal?
They've had it. They had an 18-month temporary approval, during which time the location was scrutinized,
Right.
mainly for parking and loitering and things like that. So
Right.
all she's coming back for today is to get final
Right.
approval.
Right, because
bet-
I've seen the difference in the store being closed at Portland and Alabama. The police department will probably testify the number of times that they have gone to that store.
But you haven't
Not that
had
it's
a-
going to happen at their store, but
Right, but you
like I
haven't
say,
seen
I'm
any
looking at a period of
problem.
time that would probably occur that, you know, the neighbor, you know, that how the neighborhood may change.
Right.
And that's what I'm more interested in, the neighborhood not having any more changes. And I think it's just in the past, in lower income neighborhoods, how beer and liquor has affected the area.
Any more questions for Mr. Holt? Thank you, sir. Anyone else wish to speak against BAC 85-16?
We have some other members from the community who are here just to state they are not in favor of the liquor license. You can please, the people from Lakeside Acres.
All right, does anyone else wish to speak?
Other representatives in the community. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You got the liquor license? My name is Lloyd Parker. I live at 2933 Logan Street, zip code 71103. The site at Milan in Arkansas has been a problem in the past for years. They hang out at the corner. They sell all other things other than the liquor, and it's going to be a problem.
Sir,
The store-
has it been a problem in the past since 2014?
Yes.
What exactly is the problem?
The problem is men hanging out there causing confusion, blocking the streets, cussing, fussing, and creating all kinds of problems at that corner, Milan and Arkansas. I'm totally objecting to the continuance of the liquor license at that location.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wish to speak against BAC 85-16?
My name is Igor Lesko, 2912 Looney.
Sir, could you speak into the microphone? We're having a hard time hearing you.
29 Looney, Shreveport, 71103. As an owner of the property located in the vicinity of the case, we oppose the proposal approval of selling liquor and high-content wine due to the following reasons. First, applicants does not have enough public parking spots, and therefore they will heavily rely on the foot traffic to their store. It is okay if the customer will carry out some groceries with them, because many people, as already said, doesn't have a transportation. But the problem will arise once those customers start carry out alcoholic beverages with them. A big part of those carried out alcohol will not be made to the people's residences and will be consumed on the nearby lots, on the sidewalk, on other people's properties. And and which will create unwanted litter and lot of drunk walking in a neighborhood. But this community already have high, above average crime rate. An example is a headline from a newspaper, March 26, 2015, which is exactly as you referred between 2014 when they got first license till now. So March 26, 2015, Shreveport police investigating fatal shooting on Looney Street. 59-year-old Charles Henderson found home with front door open, lying on the floor with what appeared to be a single gunshot wound to the head. He was pronounced dead at the scene. He lived at 2855 Looney Street, which is 71103, which is just 200 feet away from the front door of the business which applicants seeking to permanently have a license for selling beer. Yet, according to the business application of applicants and the agents, their home address is hundreds miles away from the Washington subdivision, and therefore assumption can be made that Washington subdivision safety is not the primary concern. Second point, also it's a big question exists how business owners will prevent exposure of children and teenagers who enter this store on a routine errands to the drinking patrons of this store. And the last, besides that, data from Louisiana Office of Alcohol and Tobacco Control shows that in immediate area is already oversaturated with businesses where the people can buy alcohol. For example, there's at least 5 businesses within 1 mile range from 2901 Milam Street, and more than 10 within 2 mile range where the people can buy beer and liquor at their convenience.
Sir, I'll have to cut you off. Your time's expired. We appreciate your comments. Are there any questions from the board?
So in conclusion, this granting permanent license will not present neither necessity nor convenience for community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Anyone else wish to speak against case BAC 85-16? Sir, I can't have you return. Anyone else wish to speak against BAC 85-16? Ms. Brunson, would you care for rebuttal?
Absolutely. One of the things that I appreciate most about being an American is really the right for everybody to have an opinion. And while I respect and appreciate the opinions of everyone who's come forth in opposition, there are a couple of things that I feel like I need to note because they were incorrect. The first one being we weren't even open in a store in March of 2015. The store did not open until June of 2016. The laundromat was open, but the store was not. Another concern is there have been no police activity, no loitering, no issues at my location since we've been open. Third one is, yes, we do live in Dallas, and I don't think I've ever tried to hide that from anyone. I think everybody here is well aware that we run this business, we invested in this business because this is my hometown, and this is something that I felt very strongly about. But the fact that we live in Dallas, Texas has absolutely nothing to do with us having a lack of desire for safety, because safety is above all my first priority. The question that I have to pretty much everybody who's opposed me is, what have you done to help the community? We have recruiters who've come in and taken young men. We've got a great guy who didn't have a future. But my husband sat on Saturday, every Saturday, for 2 months, preparing him to go take the test. You know where that young man is? That young man is at basic training right now. Got another young man that we paid for the transcript, took him to the Job Corps, got him in the Job Corps, and we're hopeful that he will be successful. He was a high school dropout. We're trying to get him to the point where he can be gainfully employed. We tutor other kids free of charge. Anybody who will come in there with a book, I want to help them, because for me, beer and alcohol is not the problem. Education, a lack of education, a lack of resources, a lack of exposure, those are the problems in Lakeside. My Lakeside Acres friends, while I certainly appreciate them, they're on the other side of Mile. I mean, they have a totally different view of what goes on the other side of Mile. Totally different. I have done nothing but try to invest. There is not a person in here who can come forth and tell you anything differently. I don't want any loitering. I don't want any trouble. I've got an 11-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 5-year-old of my own who I bring to that store with me, and they help me in that store. So safety to me is key. I love my kids just like I love everybody that I'm trying to help. I've got 100 signatures on a petition, people who actually live in Lakeside, not Lakeside Acres, who say that I brought nothing but value to them. I had individuals who wanted to come and speak, but they had jobs and obligations and they couldn't be here. But Michael Taylor, for example, who said to me, you know what, Ms. Brunson, I drink beer, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with drinking beer. I go to work every day. I come home. If I want to sit on my sofa and drink a beer, I should be able to do that, and I shouldn't have to pay somebody money to take me down the street to get the beer. Those are the type of people that aren't here today, but that's who I represent. That's who I speak on behalf of. And I'll tell you one other thing. The Finback Group, that's my name. When you see a problem with the Finback Group, I urge you, I implore you to call the police, because I don't want those types of problems.
Ms. Brunson, you have to address the board.
Okay, well, again, that's my name. And when my name is on the line, I feel like I have to speak on my behalf. Because there are three things that are most important to me. That's my faith, that's my family, and that's my sense of fairness. I want to be treated fairly because I've done nothing, and due process of the law says that I can't be punished because Pinky had a store down the street and people hung out in front of it. Due process of the law says that I can't be punished because people get murdered in a neighborhood when I had absolutely nothing to do for that. So I'm just asking for a fair ruling today, which is I've been serving beer, I've had no issues, it increases my revenue. If you want me to give back to the community, if you're proud of the building that I put there, help me pay for the building. And I pay for the building by bringing people in the door. My revenue has increased. When I brought tobacco to my store, my revenue increased by 35%. Nobody has anything to say about that. I'm more concerned about tobacco than I'll ever be about beer and wine. And you want to know why? Because my 18 to 25-year-olds who can be helped, that's who's buying the tobacco. And they're not buying cigarettes. They're buying Swisher Sweets and all kind of tobacco products that they roll with marijuana, and we all know that, which is against the law, which is not helping them in any way, shape, or form. I'm far more concerned about those. I'm trying to help those. I don't want your money, actually, quite frankly, if I can help you. I want you to get off the product. But if you're going to buy the product anyway, why not buy it from me? So I didn't mean to get all riled up, but again, that's my name that they put out here. I don't have any blemishes on my name or any blemishes on my name. So I'll give you the petition. I'll ask to continue to sell beer and wine. And I will ask the community that if they have any issues with it, I want you to call the police. I want you to call me because I don't want any issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brunson. What do we hear?
I move for approval with the...
Second.
Motion to approve by Ms. Osborne, second by Mr. Holland. Discussion?
I just think it's an opportunity for us to give them a chance to get the store open and see just how great an impact they had on the community, and the ability of many people to walk to support themselves with the products they have. And I think the alcohol, provides them with some additional income to help do that. No reports that we're aware of any negative issues or problems. The way I see it, it's anything but an asset to that part of the community. You got an owner that's on site, an owner that's encouraging anyone that there's any problems, get with her, contact her. I mean, we'd like to have that in any neighborhood, the way I look at it.
Thank you, Mr. Holland. Please vote. Motion carries unanimously. Tab 7 is case BAC 86-16. 6208 Yarborough Road. Sir,
Good afternoon, everybody. My name
Sir.
is Randall.
You'll just wait 1 second, we'll let the gallery clear. Okay. All right, sir, please continue.
All right, my name is Randall Lang. I live at 6208 Yarbo Road here in Shreveport, Louisiana, 71119. And I'm here today because I want to build a workshop on the side of my property. It's down a private road. It's not visible from the road. It's on the side and behind a 30 by 30 workshop.
All right. What are you gonna build?
Huh?
What are you gonna build?
When?
No, what?
Oh, what? Just a workshop, a 30 by 30 workshop.
What are you gonna build in your workshop?
I'm not going to build nothing but put some cars in it. I hope
All
that
right.
y'all say it's okay.
All right, I thought you said woodworking, I was interested.
No. We're going to just storage. I got a whole bunch of stuff.
All right, any questions for Mr. Lang? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak for BAC 86-16? Anyone wish to speak against BAC 86-16? What do we hear?
To approve.
Motion by Mr. Stewart, second by Mr. Holland to approve. Please vote. Motion carries unanimously. Case BAC 87-16, 6323 Corby's Drive.
Good afternoon. My name's Glenn Kinsey. I live at 6727 Corby's Drive, 71106, which is just down the street from this house here. So the request is for a height variance in a fence, and it is, as you will see on the map here, just a portion of the fence. We're putting the fence in. I have a Downs child, and she does have a habit of getting out of the house, getting away from. We just want to make sure that she doesn't get away from us, and that's why we're building the fence in the first place, the primary reason. And solar block wall itself is material that came off the house. We're renovating the home, so we took the solar block off a portion of the house and are reusing it in the front of the house as an architectural feature. Primarily, it will be visible from the house, and from the landscaping you see there will not be visible really that much from the street. There will be architectural lighting for the evening. I have spoken to all of my neighbors on Corby's. They're within the notice zone. I believe you saw the video that was done by Jerome Nicholas, the landscape architect. So I showed that to the neighbors so they know what we're doing. I had no objection at all. In fact, I have email responses from them in support, so I'll hand those in. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions from Mr. Kinsey? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak for case BAC 87-16? Anyone wish to speak against BAC 87-16? What do we hear?
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Holland, second by Ms. Osborne to approve. Please vote. Motion carries unanimously. Tab 9 is case BAC 89-16, 9595 Mansfield Road.
Hi, I'm Ellen Sully. I'm with GPD Group. My address is 520 South Main Street, Akron, Ohio 44311. And I am here today to represent Pizza Hut. And they're in the process of purchasing this property from the Cordell Group. This site, we are looking for two variances. One is the special exception for the sale of beer, wine, and liquor. And the other one is for a variance request for the hours of operation. This restaurant is, like I mentioned, going to be a new Pizza Hut construction, and this Pizza Hut will not just be a pickup pizza shop, but it will also be for a dine-in experience. And to enhance the dine-in experience, that's why we're asking for these two requests today. We had submitted with our packet a layout of the floor plan that showed where the alcohol was going to be purchased and the point of sales for that. And also with our submittal, we discussed why we would request the longer hours. And this was just to be similar to the other restaurants in the area and other businesses in the area to stay competitive with them. And as I mentioned then also in the staff recommendation, that there are the other places in the area that are even open longer hours than we are. Some are open as long as 24 hours. We are only requesting to be open from 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. on Sunday through Thursday. And Friday and Saturday we're requesting from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. And then there were some items that the staff recommended our approval, but with some contingencies, and we are in the process of following up on those. Today we met with Ebony and submitted our site plan, and we had a few comments on that, so we're going to get that resubmitted either Monday or Tuesday next week. And the second item was food sales had to be at least 60%, and we will be above that. We expect alcohol sales to be no more than 15%. And then the third one was the alcohol and food service sales should be restricted, and that was already noted on the floor plan submitted. Did you guys have any other questions for us?
Questions from the board? Thank you, Ms. Lynn. Anyone else wish to speak for case BAC 89-16? Anyone wish to speak against BAC 89-16? What do we hear?
Move to approve. With steps. With steps.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Cooper, second by Mr. Holland to approve with steps. Please vote. Motion carries unanimously.
Let me ask a secondary question, and maybe Ms. Sweeney, you know. The street behind that's listed on here is Pecos Point. Has that been dedicated as a city street now?
I don't know. Stephen, are you aware of whether or not it's been dedicated?
They are extending that. Some of that has been dedicated yet. They're extending it a little at a time.
Because I know it was a privately owned road, you know, up to this point.
They came in and did a replat and did dedicate a portion of it. I'm not 100% sure if that portion has been dedicated, but I know a lot of it has been. I have to go back and look.
Yeah, that's a good. I think it's a good thing. I mean,
Yeah, but the intent is for it to go all the way back down to that Williamson Way, and
Fair to Williams.
and then go all the way back up eventually and connect it there.
All right, thank you.
That brings us to tab 10, which is case BAC 90-16, 9012 Mansfield Road.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Westmoreland with Wiener Weiss in Madison. My address is 333 Texas Street, Suite 2350, Shreveport 71101. I'm here on behalf of my clients, DE3 Inc., which does business as Daiquiri Express. That company is owned by Michael Johnson and Randy Comer. You've probably pretty familiar with Daiquiri Express. They've been in this business and doing Daiquiri Express since 1988. They have 3 current locations in Shreveport. This location will be only for daiquiris to go. There will be no on-premises consumption. So as a result, we don't expect any issues with respect to loitering, and are because of their experience in the business, are very sensitive to watching, make sure people aren't in their cars, in the parking lot, drinking on premises. The hours of operation will be Monday through Thursday from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m., Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight, and Sunday from noon to 8 p.m. As the staff report says, that the Shreveport Police have no issues with this location. I'd also note that the Shreveport Police also have a very good relationship with my clients and their rapport with the Shreveport Police. We've had no problems at their other locations in any time in the recent future. In preparation for this, we met with the Southern Hills Business Association. We attended their meeting, presented the project to them. We met with officers of the Southern Hills Business Association. We had breakfast with those officers and Commissioner Mario Chavez. We also had invited Mr. Fleury, Councilman Fleury, to attend that breakfast. He was not able to. I will be candid with the board. Mr. Fleury and I have exchanged phone calls, but we never caught up with each other on the phone. If you know this location, it is, what I would say is tucked in there. You really don't know that it's there unless you're looking for it. The front of the store faces away from Mansfield Road. The back of the store is hidden essentially by the Exxon, which is right behind it. It is not like, for those who might be concerned about the sale of alcohol, it is not a big flagship store sitting out on the front of the road. You have to be looking for this to find it. The only other thing that I will mention is that obviously there are numerous sources for alcohol sales in the immediate area. There are the Thrifty Liquor going up down Burt Coons. The Exxon right behind them sells packaged beer. Various gas stations, restaurants around there, Kroger, Rite Aid, Walgreens, all very close to their selling. So we believe that, there really is no reasonable justification not to deny an alcohol permit for this location. And again, based on my client's reputation, history in the business, and their lack of problems at any of their other locations, we see this as a good addition to this area. And again, it's kind of tucked in there. You're really going to have to be looking for it to find it.
Ebony, could you put this site map up? Which is because mine's different than that. Which is the Exxon? Is that to the south of there?
It is going to be, I believe it's going to be that parcel
To the right.
to the right here.
The white line, yeah.
It fronts Mansfield Road. This is a strip of about 4 or 5 stores. The counterculture will be on the side there.
Yeah, that's the one we have. I was confused about, so you're on, is that the side you're on, or you're on the other side? The hatched mark.
If this helps, this is the counterculture.
Yeah, Cinnabon.
It's on the south side.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's fine. I would just. Yeah, I just think
the front end really, literally faces away from Mansfield Road.
That picture's looking from Mansfield Road to the west.
Right, okay. And it's not a drive-through, right?
There is a drive-through.
Is it a drive-through? Okay.
Yes.
And that's not a separate, it's already approved for a drive-through?
Yes,
Yes.
the B3 allows that.
Right, all right.
Correct.
I just wanted to clarify that. Any questions from the board for Mr. Westmoreland? All right, thank you very much, Jeff.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Anyone else wish to speak for case BAC 90-16?
Good afternoon, guys. Mario Chavez, 9021 Blonde Boulevard, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71118. Board members, executive director, appreciate you guys considering this. Met with a lot of the people in the local area when they brought this to my attention that they wanted to come, and I heard no negativity about it. A lot of people were excited. We went to the local churches to make sure that they were okay with it. They were fine with it. The people we spoke with went to the local business association. They, in fact, welcomed them to come and give a presentation, and were very ecstatic. I've known these guys for about a decade. They're very stand-up business owners that will utilize responsible vendors, good contractors, and create jobs. From a commissioner standpoint, I look forward to having another business and the revival of Mansfield Road brought back, and these guys are intricate to making that happen. So I appreciate your guys' consideration today. If you guys have any questions, I've spoken with a lot of people. Any board members? Thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak for case BAC 90-16? Anyone wish to speak against BAC 90-16? What do we hear?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Osborne, second by Mr. Holland to approve. Please vote. Motion carries unanimously. Case BAC 91-16. $3405 Mansfield Road.
Yes, I'm Jim Weinzettel with Ash Broussard Weinzettel Architects. Our office is 301 Jackson Street, Suite 205. That's Alexandria 71301.
Thank you.
Our client is the owner, Claiborne and Mansfield. Existing nursing home. The addition in the front is administrative space and a chapel and a new entrance. And at that new front door, we have a drive-under canopy for use during the weather. It does that, most of that canopy does extend into the 30-yard front yard setback. It is approximately 16 feet by 19 feet. So that's its size that we're talking about.
Do you understand, have you read the staff recommendation?
Yes.
Seen the stipulations regarding the approval from the fire department?
Yes, I have a meeting at 4
All
today
right, so
with
as
them.
long as you're aware of that
Yes.
stipulation, that whatever the board decides today is contingent on the stipulation.
Yes.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Weinzettel? Thank you very much. Anyone else wish to speak for case BAC 91-16? Anyone wish to speak against BAC 91-16? What do we hear?
Motion approved, Dip.
Second. Motion by Mr. Holland, second by Mr. Cooper to approve with STIPs. Please vote. Motion carries unanimously. Case BAC 92-16, 1513 Line Avenue.
Hello everyone, my name is Yancey Kaz and my address is 309 Settlers Park Drive, Net Shreveport 71115. I am owner of STEM Events. We are here for a special exception use to sell on-premise consumption of beer, wine, and alcohol. Currently, we are open for lunch, so our hours of operation are only from 2 to 11. So we're trying to obviously boost some sales at lunch. And we're not open for dinner, so we are open for events, so people come in and book us for bridal showers, baby showers, private dinners, and we'd love the opportunity to sell some on-premise there too. And that's it, thanks. Any questions?
No questions. You've seen the staff recommendation and the standard stipulations about 60% sales.
Yes, sir, that is correct. So we're looking possibly 15% for lunch and 20% for events.
All right. And you're restricted to certain areas as indicated on your site plan for the alcohol.
Yes.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Kaz? Thank you very much. Anyone else wish to speak for case BAC 92-16? Anyone wish to speak against BAC 92-16? What do we hear?
Move to approve, Steph. Second.
Motion by Mr. Stewart, second by Mr. Cooper to approve the STIPs. Mr. Holland?
So discussion, so they're applying, from what I'm reading here, we don't have approval, we've never had approval out there for...
No, there never has been.
Not for the outdoor area.
And if there was, it probably got expired or something.
Betty, didn't we do that one time about...
I don't think we ever did the outdoors. We did that place across the hallway from them.
I'm sorry to interrupt, it was Twine, I believe?
Right.
Twine.
Right.
So what we're approving is without...
What you're
without the use of
approving is the
outdoors?
sale of the alcohol and to allow them to have an outdoor patio.
That's the two things they're asking.
Okay, so that they can sell, somebody sitting on the patio, they can?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's where I was unclear.
Right.
Okay.
Good question.
All right, any more questions or discussion? Please vote. Motion carries unanimously. Mr. Sweeney?
Yes, sir. I've got a few things to talk to you about under the master plan implementation report. Just to give you a chronology of all the things that have been happening. Back on October the 18th, the MPC board held its second public hearing on the Unified Development Code and the proposed zoning map that goes with it. And we provided for some amendments to the Unified Development Code based on the input we'd gotten from stakeholders and from the public. Roughly about 35 changes that we recommended. And so the MPC board unanimously approved or are recommended approval of the Unified Development Code as amended, along with the zoning map, to both the City Council and the Parish Commission. That was on the 18th of October. On the November the 4th, which was last Friday, we had a joint City Council Parish Commission meeting on the second floor in the Mayor's Conference Room, in which we got together and compared notes with each body about issues and concerns that may be still relevant. That the intent of that meeting was a conversation. There were no decisions made, but a dialogue that would allow both bodies to be on the same page together, so that when it came time to vote on the UDC, they would not be so far apart, so that they would understand what amendments needed to be made to the document and what changes might occur that they felt was important to making it a finalized document. That was a very well-attended meeting. It was a good conversation. And as I've always said, the whole issue about the Unified Development Code has been like an inverted pyramid. As we've gone over the course of the last 17 to 18 months, we've narrowed it down to very few things left, and that's where we're at. And so we're in the process of working on those issues, and we will be coming back before the Parish Commission on the 17th of November to introduce the proposed amended Unified Development Code and zoning map. We will do the same thing for the City Council on November the 22nd. Again, introducing the proposed or recommended adoption of the document and a zoning map. The introduction is an introduction, which means it begins the process and gets it on their schedule. They will have the opportunity then at their next meeting to possibly consider it for adoption. What I really expect to have happen, because the budget has to be approved in the next few meetings with both bodies, and because the parish only meets one time in December, and you have all the holidays, what I'm anticipating, and I can't say this for certain, that they probably will, both bodies probably will not take a final vote on the document until their first meetings or second meeting in January. And if they do that, it's very likely we will have an adopted Unified Development Code and new zoning map that will go officially into place on April the 3rd, 2017. Yes, sir.
Is the version that you introduced the version that we have, that draft 3?
We have made amendments since draft 3, which is what was adopted on the 18th of October by the MPC board. We'll provide you with those amendments so that you can see what's been changed. Okay. And we have it well laid out and documented so you can follow it chronologically through the document.
So would that be like an appendix to it, or a whole?
No, actually,
whole
what
set?
will happen is when we present this to the City Council and the Parish Commission in the next few weeks, it will already be a part of the document, so they're actually going to amend the document. It'll actually be just already inserted in there.
So I mean, when you provide it, it'll be a new set. We get the whole new set.
I'll just give you an outline of what's changed.
Perfect. Perfect.
And
That's all I
for
need.
y'all. So that way you can follow along what changes have been made. We did an 11th hour negotiation with SWEPCO on the 18th of October and got them to come on board in support of UDC. We also have made tremendous strides with the billboard industry and a variety of other companies and organizations And that dialogue for the last 17 months of going back and forth and negotiating has proven valuable, extremely beneficial. And so now we're down, there's a couple of items still left that need to be talked about, and we're working on those now. And we'll see how that evolves with both the parish and the city council. But it's been a very productive, engaged process. Nobody can say they didn't have that chance to come and tell us what they thought, because we have literally kept it wide open for, like I said, for 17 months through that process. This is a culmination of 4 years of work, folks. I've been working on this with my staff for the last little over 2 years now. They worked on it 2 years before I ever got here. And it's a $450,000 investment, and we're bringing it to a close. And I believe very strongly this is gonna happen. I believe the votes are there on both bodies, and I believe the intent is to do this. It has been 60 years since we've had a new ordinance. The one we have has been patched together with a lot of amendments, but we're at that stage. It literally was 1957, and when this thing is finally adopted in January of 2017, it will literally be 60 years almost to the day. So it's time to progress, and that's where we're at. So those are my comments about the Unified Development Code. Now I have some other announcements I can give you as well, but under the other staff reports. Just for your information, you know that we now administratively review and approve all site plans now. They don't go to the MPC board anymore. And so if you want to know what site plans have been approved through me, my signature, you can go on our website, Shreveport Caddo MPC.com, and go onto that website, and you will be able to see what has been submitted and approved through this office on a regular basis. So if you're very curious about what new projects are happening out there, this will give you an opportunity to look at that. But the other thing I wanted to tell you is smile, you're on camera, because basically starting as of the October meetings, we are now, we've always recorded these meetings, but right now if you go to the website, you can see the video of this meeting today. It'll be uploaded. And so starting back in October, we started it then, and we're going to make it so that if somebody misses a meeting and they want to know how this talked about, what the tone was, what the issues were, they can go both to the MPC location as well as the ZBA location to be able to do that on our website. And then the last thing I want to talk about as an announcement is the holiday luncheon for the MPC organization will be held on December the 9th, which is a Friday, at 11:30, again at Country Tavern like it was last year. You will be receiving an invitation soon, because that's actually a month from now, a month from today. And believe it or not, Christmas will be here before you know it. And so we want to invite you to be sure and participate in that. We felt like it was a good venue last year for us. We had our own room and good food and good company. And so we want to invite you again to that, and you'll be getting a notification of that again via email very soon. So that's the end of my announcements.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sweeney. The remaining item on our agenda today is the nominating committee to make a report and vote for the 2017 board officers. And we have the guidelines for the voting, but if I can hear from the nominating committee chair to report.
In the absence of my coworker, Ron, we wish that the nomination be of the said parties involved right now. Alan Berry, chairman. Betty, you're secretary, right? And vice chairman was Rick Holland. Wish that those individuals be reinstated for another term.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cooper. So at this time, I'll need a motion to suspend the provision in Article 2, Paragraph A, that provides that the ZBA, quote, will elect its chair from among its members at the last quarterly scheduled meeting of the calendar year. At the same meeting, the ZBA will also elect officers. In other words, that means that by our bylaws, we do this in December. So the motion should also authorize the board to elect officers on November 9th, 2016.
So moved.
So a motion by Mr. Cooper,
Second.
second by Mr. Holland to suspend that provision, Article 2, Paragraph A, and elect officers today, November 9th, 2016, and vote on same. All in favor, raise your right. Are you prepared to do this? Okay. So at this time, please vote. Motion carries unanimously. And we can now need a motion to approve or deny or decline the slate of officers, the slate being Alan Berry, Chair, Rick Holland, Vice Chair, Betty Osborne, Secretary for 2017.
Move to approve.
All right, motion by Mr. Stewart, second by Mr. Cooper. Please vote. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen, for your report. Ms. Osborne, were you on the nominating committee?
No.
All right. You were? Yes, no?
You were?
Whatever, Mr. Cooper
Gentlemen
said.
and lady, thank you for your involvement in time. If there's no further business, we are adjourned.
You agree